Hello, Francie. Welcome to my kitchen. And today we're going to be making the start of a loaf of, let's see, this is going to be, I'm going to call this like quarter whole wheat bread. It's going to be fun. So we're going to start with about 98 grams of starter. And that's going to use about all of this. This is straight from the fridge. So I'm going to zero that out. And then just gonna start dumping this into the bowl. You'll recognize this bowl. Okay, that's about 77. And that's gonna make it a little more than we need, but that's okay. 93 grams is just fine. The amount of starter is forgiving. The rest of the recipe is not. So I'm going to keep this finger dirty because we're going to just incorporate that into the rest of the recipe. So what we're going to add next is going to be 256 grams of water. So zero that out again. And I warmed this up in the microwave. This is filtered water, and that's right there on 256. And then we'll take that off of the scale and we'll give it a look as I kind of incorporate this into the water. You can use a wire whisk. We're not looking for like all of this incorporated into the water into like a fine particulate or anything. We're just looking to get this incorporated into the water about as good as we can. Okay, so doesn't look half bad now, but we're gonna add some salt to this. 9 grams. And then we're going to add all of the flour. It's going to be about 387 grams total. You can use all red flour. I'm using a quarter of this is going to be whole wheat for me because I ran out of bread flour. Oopsie. So we're just going to mix that all together. And with your handy dandy bowl that you got me, I can get you in on this action here. But yeah, you can just use one hand, and this makes it a lot easy, and it's really not fun to touch. But since you're only using one hand, you should be able to incorporate it just fine in just a couple of seconds. And yeah, once it starts getting tacky, it's going to get shaggy and tacky. You're going to want to start squeezing it out of your hand and making a fist as tight as you can to incorporate the rest of this along the edges of the bowl and whatnot. So you turn that. I'm actually going to set you down so I can get that. Okay, yeah, this stuff is a little tough, but it takes just a little wrangling of the dough to get all of the flour incorporated, because you don't want any of this dry stuff on the side sticking. And in just a few moments, you go from having water, flour, salt, and yeast from the starter into having the beginnings of a shaggy dough. Yeah, so that looks about as good as it gets. It's all incorporated. It looks like proper dough. You're going to have about this much dough coated on your fingers. It doesn't matter if you get that back in the bowl or not. I usually just wash it off, but that's me. I'm going to cover this with some some plastic wrap. And then we will feed the rest of the starter. And as you can see here in my Weck jar, and you can see why I love this jar. Like, it's so easy to get the spatula into there, into this wide mouth. It's great. But yeah, as you can see in there, that's all the starter that you need that's left in there from you feeding your bread here. That's all you need to continue your starter. And I will show you what I do to feed this in just a sec.